quarter round down here to hide the joint. I need to have 35 and 3/4 to 36 and 3/8 spread between here, the opening. Piece of 3/4 inch round all the way off. You put a piece of furry strip around here. Just scrape off the old caulking and stuff. And you're gonna pull any staples and nails out that are in the way. You gotta put some shims behind this trim so that it comes out far enough. It's just shy of where it's supposed to be. I don't put the shims behind where the hinges are just to make it a little bit stronger. So I'm gonna mark about where they are. Shoot nails in at an angle because of they're too long. They would have to hit the concrete. I went ahead and caulked that gap. There's a gap between here and here. It's probably about almost 1/4 inch in some place. I just ran a big fat bead of caulk down it. Because later on when I put the trim on, this is not the right piece, by the way. You see how that's going to leave that little gap showing there? I wanted to make sure I hid that. Now that the caulking's all dry around the sides here, I'm going to go ahead and center this top molding piece up here. Make it the same distance on each side. And then you want to mark the hole over here. And then pre-drill the hole with a 1/8 inch drill bit. And then just screw just this side. In an effort not to screw up, which is easy to do, I usually prefer to hold the door up just like it's going to fit in the door over here. Exactly, because you want to make sure you have the inside on the inside. This is the hinge side. This is the outside of the door. So I'm going to lay it down this way with the hinges up. And I have the top of the door facing that way. Same thing with the trim piece. This piece is the hinge side. See the hinges on it? The Velcro is the part the door is going to rub against. So imagine you're setting it, the doorway is over there, facing this way, the hinge side's on the left side. That's the top of the door, top of the jamb, set it down like this. The felt on the inside of the door when you set it on top of it. Remove these two screws on the door. Drill in 1 inch the top hole of the hinge that lines up. Now the next step is to go ahead and put your drill bit back in and drill the remaining holes in all the hinges. About 1 inch down. And then we run the remaining screws. So not to over tighten, so you better turn your drill down just a little bit. Now you measure the height, 8 1/4 would be tight. Now I measured the distance of the doorway opening from top to bottom, and I subtracted like 1/8 of an inch just because I don't want it to be tight. And now I just gotta cut it off. It's a fine bit blade with a little bit of wax on the blade so that the aluminum doesn't clog it up. I'm going to do something I should have done earlier to make the door a little bit lighter. I'm going to take the glass out. I'm going to take the screen out too. I just slid a shim under the door jamb just a little bit so I can get it up tight. Okay, I got some shims down low and I got some shims up here holding the door over at this corner over here. pre-drill one hinge hole. And I'll check for level. Pretty good. And you can put some more screws right in there. There's 8 holes on the inside of the jamb. You gotta screw them in. I already pre-drilled them. Adjust the thing over the door, top the header piece, so that you have about the same gap all the way down. About a 1/4 inch there. It's about a 1/4 inch here. There's the other jamb. Just shy of 80 and an 8. Double check that you're not cutting off the wrong side. Mark it. Use a square to get it straight. You want to cut the bottom off just in case your cut's a little bit crooked. It's down at the bottom where you really can't see it. Now I just kind of set this other piece of trim jamb in here. It's loose right now, and I got one screw at the top holding it on. And what I'm gonna do is just kind of put it on there and line it up with the door. And one of my screws where I gotta have a couple of these screws I gotta angle a little bit because there's not a lot of wood there to hold it. The sweep goes on with the open door with the screws on the inside. Just slides in. At the end, you got to get over this little piece of trim on the door. Just reach through and pull it out just a little bit. And then push it down so that it just barely touches the ground. Make sure you don't drill through the door. 39.5 inches up to here. And then I'm going to draw a line using a square. Got a punch. It's not the right kind of punch. It's got a blunt end, but I'm sure it will leave just enough of a mark. And I'm gonna do the other side also. And I'm gonna drill halfway through on each side to make sure the holes all line up. And then to my bigger drill bit. I better double check just make sure this is 5/16. It may be a little bigger. Again, just halfway through on each side. These handles to go on, you got this one, you got this spring, and the pin goes on first. The spring goes over the pin, goes on the outside handle goes on the outside of the door, inside, and I guess the black screws. Mount right there, and of course it's right where I don't have anything, so I'm gonna have to cut a piece of wood to stick in there. I had to rip a piece of wood 3/4 by 3/4 the full height. I'm trying to get it off the ground so it won't rot if water gets on the windowsill. Here's what the latch looks like. Latch, catch, whatever you want to call it, and it goes on here. And I close the door and I pull it back till I can see how the door is going to fit tight. Okay, and I'm just going to drill the holes. They got a lot of adjustment for it, so I'm just going to drill it in the center. It comes with a couple of spacers in case you got to bring it out further. I'm going to hit put both of them on, and it looks like that's going to work good. This bracket here is mounted a 1/4 inch away from the closed door with 4 screws, 2 here and 2 there. And then it's got a short pin You need to hold this on. This metal clip here comes out. You pull the rod out by putting a pin inside it and pulling. Once you get this, so you can get this rod a 1/4 inch longer than it needs to be. That's to give you tension on the door when it's fully closed. Put the pin back. This is 2 inches down from the opening of the window. 2 inches down right here. I also marked it. Hold it up. I've centered the screw in the middle of this in case I have to adjust it. I also mounted this on the front hole. There's 2 holes here. I mounted on the longest hole. That way if it starts to wear out or whatever, I can always go to the next hole. I already pre-drilled over the marks with the 1/8 inch drill bit. And now all I have left to do is to put these 2 screws in and put the screen back in the door. And maybe adjust the tensioner.